Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's the Cranky Arborist, back once again to help rescue the internet from myths, bad practices, and scientific ignorance, one tree and landscape plant at a time. So I'm out here in this little park, kind of a park where they just leave it alone. It's nice for nature, and there's all sorts of stuff. You can see we got plenty of rain, lots of water in here. So realistically, the only things that are going to grow in here are things that don't mind a little excess water. So you see a lot of pin oaks here, swamp white oak, appropriately named, other things like that. So this is good. But as I'm beginning to educate people, and more people are tuning into the channel, there's a couple of things that I want to bring up and help people understand. And for me, it's about what I call the processes. There are processes that we need to understand. These are living organisms. This isn't like it's not like an engineer who can use a formula to determine the load capacity of a piece of iron or steel or wood or whatever it might be. These are living organisms. It's a moving target. You're never going to be 100% accurate. As a consulting arborist, I can tell you that. Doing risk assessment on trees is, man, you have to have a very stout constitution, because there's so many factors that you just don't know and you can't predict. So within those processes, there are fundamental principles that I think, and this is what I've been teaching and training, and I've been doing this for years now, but in teaching and training, and one of those principles, those first principles, the guiding principles that I talk about, is that plants and trees, organisms, things like that, living things, have a genetic blueprint that they are going to grow according to, whether you and I like it or not. So you have a choice. You can either work with that genetic blueprint, or you can fight it, resist it. Well, let me tell you, 25 years nose to nose with nature, I highly recommend you do not fight nature, because you will lose. That's just been my experience, and I think most people's experiences as well. So for me, if something has a genetic blueprint, we should probably work with that genetic blueprint. So I wanted to point out a genetic blueprint of trees. Now I want you to take a look at the base of this tree. And these are called buttress roots, or root flares, at the base of the tree, where the trunk basically transitions into the roots. And you can see in this woodland here, all these beautiful buttress roots. Wonderful. We can go to another tree over here, and we can see the buttress roots here. We can see the one on this tree over here, on this tree. We can go everywhere and see where the roots are. All of these buttress roots and the root flare are above the soil line. Now, think about that, and think about then the trees in your yard, or in the city park, or on the city property, what we call the tree lawn here in the Great Lakes region of North America. Do they look like this? And I'm telling you, most of the trees that you will see will not look like that. The roots are buried. Obviously, they get damaged around sidewalks and streets and driveways and things. I'm not really talking about that. But this is how nature wants to grow. This is how the tree in your yard wants to grow. Don't fight nature. So when you plant trees, so it's a little difficult here. I don't see a bunch of big enough trees here, but even the little seedlings and saplings that are here, if we actually start excavating, trying to find one here, if we start excavating, you will already see underneath this, it's too soggy here, unfortunately, but you'll actually see that the roots are still starting to develop that root flare above ground. So this is the genetic blueprint. So when you plant a tree, make sure you can see the root flare, the buttress roots, slightly above grade, above the soil, above the mulch, dry. People think like, oh, we got to cover it. It's like the grandma syndrome, or that sweet aunt syndrome. Oh, you need a blankie. We need to cover you. No, nature has actually designed trees to grow very well with the root flare above ground. You don't have to cover it. So that's important, because when you do cover it with soil or mulch, volcano mulching is what some people call it, it's not good for the tree, and the tree doesn't like it. It wants to grow like this. So this is when you're looking at your trees. If you have mature trees in your yard and you have a lot of soil up against the buttress roots, if you see turf, your grass is actually growing up there, it might not be a bad idea for you to remove the grass away from that. Keep it a few inches away from it. This is how nature wants to grow. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you look around, where there's trees, there's no grass. Where there's grass, there's no trees. We put the two together and wonder why we have problems at points. So again, the point is, this is how nature wants to grow. This is how trees want to grow. So we should accommodate them if we want to have healthy trees in the landscape. that's pretty much it. So again, please feel free to share the videos. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to bring 25 years worth of experience to the internet here, trying to blow up myths and bad practices and people doing dumb things to trees so I can stop being quite so cranky. I mean, I like being cranky, I'll admit that, but I don't want to be as cranky. So thanks for joining me. Please share the videos. I hope you'll like them. And I'm not selling anything. I'm just giving honest answers to questions and wisdom that I've learned over 25 years. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll share it. And I hope you'll join me on the next episode.